okay, is far beyond our expectation.
It's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
Good evening and thanks for joining us once again on the program Everyone Deserves a Home. My name is Zulaihat Belagubir. Last week on the program, we featured the bank's informal sector integration roundtable from 2 geopolitical zones of the country with the promise to bring you details from other zones. On the program tonight, we will take a look at the bank's visit to the Northwest and Southwest zones. What issues were discussed and what did the informal sector from these zones identify as their housing needs? Before we bring you this, first a look at major highlights in our news diary. See you after this short time out.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
On the news tonight, FMBN6 partnership with NHIS and Institute of Town Planners calls for accountable leadership. Please stay tuned for the full stories.
The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Architect Ahmed Dengiwa, has commended the management of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, on the commencement of its eNHIS project. He was speaking during a courtesy visit the bank paid to the NHIS recently. Dengiwa, while stating the purpose of the visit, noted that the initiative is an impressive and interesting one which could help the bank fast-track its efforts towards automating its processes.
We are able to secure another software which is core banking software, which will automate the bank entirely. So when I saw this eNHIS and the NHIS has gone very far in their development of this. In fact, they have even commenced operation with the eNHIS. It struck my attention. I commend the organization, the NHIS, for this very commendable initiative of that. So I found that, honestly, understanding NHIS is a very good initiative on our own side. Since we are just developing it, we intend to float the core banking application by February this year, end of next month. I felt that it's very important for us to come because we have a common identity.
The Managing Director also encouraged the NHIS to take advantage of the various products the NHF scheme offers to contributors of the scheme.
We encourage institutions like the NHIS, like yours, to take maximum advantage of the various loan products of the bank. After this collaboration, our doors will be open also for that gesture.
On his part, Executive Director, National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor M.N. Sambo, explained the processes the NHIS went through to achieve the feat.
We sat in this call and we gave them a pictorial idea of where we want to be in future with respect to ICT. And we explained detail of our business processes to them. And they went and joined our team and they started working. So we employ a government-to-government approach to establishing the eNHIS. NASCOMSAT assembled its partners. NASCOMSAT is a government-owned enterprise, and they have implementing partners, and we got into relationship with NASCOMSAT in the spirit of a local content.
The NHIS made a PowerPoint presentation to explain how the eNHIS works and a tour around the facilities of the NHIS. Speaking in an interview after the visit, the Executive Secretary of the NHIS appreciated the FMBN for taking the time to partner and understudy the NHIS to also improve its processes.
We took them to tour to see the infrastructure we put in place, and it will enable them to also x-ray their own system and see what values they can get from the National Health Insurance Scheme, so that they can go and inject it into their system. But because if you see the modus operandi of the National Health Insurance Scheme and Federal Mortgage Bank is almost the same in terms of how we drive our funding and how we expend our funding for the benefit of the workers of Nigerians.
President, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Mr. Olutoyi Ayinde, has called for leaders in the sector to be accountable, transparent and responsible to their members. He spoke recently at the inaugural ceremony of the Ogun State Chapter Chairman, Mrs. Olufunke Adenikon. Ayinde said that leadership in professionalism requires that a high sense of integrity be demonstrated by every member of the executive, adding that the Institute is seeking for leaders who can confront evil practices, set right deviant professionals, stand up against sharp practices, and always tell the truth. The President urged the new team, led by the first female chapter chairman, to bring value and vision into the practice to further the aims and objectives of the Institute. In her acceptance speech, the new chairman of the Ogun State Chapter, Mrs. Olufunke Adenikon, promised to deliver a dynamic system and bring uniqueness to the chapter. She also noted some of her agenda to include community-based projects, training and retraining of members, and confront issues concerning professionals in both private and public sectors.
You are still watching Everyone Deserves a Home, coming your way from the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, where we enlighten you on the workings of the bank and its efforts towards bridging the housing deficit in the country. In our next segment, Building Blocks, we shall bring you details of the discussions held at the Informal Sector Integration Roundtable held in the Northwest and Southwest zones. Keep watching.
In furtherance to its informal sector integration drive, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria continued its tour around the country. This time around, it stopped at the Northwest Zone. Sokoto State was the destination of the roundtable. Executive Director, Business Development and Portfolio Management Alhaji Umar Dankani was present at the event. Giving a speech on behalf of the Managing Director of the bank, Alhaji Dankani welcomed the leadership of various cooperatives and trade associations to the event. He encouraged the leadership of the various groups to feel free to express themselves and assured them of the bank's willingness to accept and work on their suggestions.
I really want to crave your indulgence that you should please feel free and express all your expectations, all your needs, all you think we can do to collaborate and succeed, so that the informal sector members, who are really of a very large population, can come into the scheme, the National House Fund scheme, participate fully, integrate fully, and enjoy the services and products that are readily available for the informal sector or for Nigerians from Federal Mortgage Bank.
Dankane said it is the desire of the bank to improve on other products of the bank so as to suit all of its customers irrespective of the sector they belong in.
It's important also for this gathering to understand no matter how beautiful any product and services that is being delivered for Federal Mortgage Bank, no person, no Nigerian can access that service or product without participating into a National Housing Fund scheme. And it is along this line that the collaboration has to come. The informal sector has to come to key in and participate into the National Housing Fund scheme, and also their needs have to be looked into so that the two can be married together. However, one of the ways we have started to do this through the Federal Mortgage Bank has started to do this through Federal Mortgage Bank Cooperative Housing Development Loan, by which we provide loans to cooperative societies to construct affordable houses for their members. This is being carried out under National Housing Cooperative Scheme, driven by the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing. And it is specifically arranged and structured to focus on informal sector. We have also relaxed so many loans requirements so that this informal sector can really have easy access into all these loans and services. Beyond this, we believe there is still room for improvement, and it is along that line that this meeting of today, these discussions are being tailored.
We are here for discussion.
Group Head, Strategy and Performance Management Group, Oladakbo Fakeye, presented a paper on the NHF scheme, what it does and areas the bank is looking at for more informal sector inclusion.
We expect more of the discussions or more of the talk from you, because FMBN, as we are in FMBN, we are here to listen more to you. Our focus as an institution is the low and medium income. So we are not interested in rich people, essentially, because we believe, and statistics show that they have the money to buy or to build their own houses. But majority of Nigerians have a challenge accessing housing. Most Nigerians have difficulty getting their own homes. So Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria essentially is the bank playing the role of providing housing finance, or what we call funding for housing for people in the medium and low income group.
He took the time also to explain to them in details why it was necessary to have the gathering and why the informal sector input is expedient.
Our purpose here is to understand the informal sector. The second purpose is also to now know what are the housing needs of people in the informal sector. What are the challenges you are facing when it comes to housing? When we know all of that, then we can then share with you what we are proposing, and we want to have suggestions as well, that this is what we want for our members, this is what we desire for our members, and then we as FMBN, we can take that and then develop the products that will serve those needs. We don't want to sit in our offices and say, let me think of a product for people outside. So we want to hear from you about what are your needs, what are the challenges, and how we can assist with those challenges.
Developing new products is not the only goal for the gathering, as the bank is also looking at modifying already existing products.
Aside from taking your own suggestions, we have identified some products that we also want to share with you. If it's okay, if we can modify it, if we can change it, let's have your ideas so that we can know how to develop those products.
For the participants, issues that needed to be addressed included loans to purchase pieces of land, as well as the duration of time a land loan should last.
My question is that, for instance, if a contributor needs a plot of land and another member needs a home, but he already owns a land, can FMBN grant him a loan to build his house? And for the other member who needs a plot of land, will he be granted a loan to buy a plot of land? Or will Mortgage Bank buy him a plot of land while he gradually refunds the loan?
Providing a rental assistance for the informal sector was another area the bank is looking to assist its contributors in the informal sector pay for its rents before they get their houses.
Muna so mu kirkiro wani sabon tsari wanda muna ce masa in an amince kenan su shugabanninmu sun amince.
We are developing a new product after discussion with our superiors. After sampling your opinion on the matter, we want to introduce what is called rental assistance product. It is aimed at assisting tenants review their rent. The program will serve as an intervention by providing tenant with house rent and also allow him to gradually pay back the loan in a short period of time.
Da za mu ke bayarwa ka samu ka soke wannan matsalar na biyan kuɗin hayan.
This suggestion was warmly received by the participants.
Sincerely speaking, the program, if introduced, will be helpful, especially for tenants who cannot pay rent as at Wendy. Granting them such opportunity will be great, especially allowing them to repay gradually within a short period of time. Before the next rent expires, they can quickly apply for another loan to offset their rent.
Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, was the meeting point for the Southwest Zone. This zone was particular about the bank helping the informal sector out in the area of obtaining certificates of occupancy. The bank led the air about some misconceptions such as the scheme being for the rich only. Having deeds of assignments is yet another area that should be looked into by the bank. All of these issues and more were top on the list of discussions. One thing is certain, that after these discussions, worthy products and services will emerge to better service the informal sector. For the FMBN, the NHF scheme is not only about repayment at the time of retirement, but its desire is to see how people can benefit from the scheme even while actively contributing to the scheme.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
To attest to the reality of the National Housing Fund, we have beneficiaries of the NHF scheme testifying to the actuality of the scheme. That is why we bring you their stories and how they were able to make their home ownership dreams become real. Tonight, we will share the story of Olugbenga Oni, who before he became a beneficiary doubted the NHF scheme. Tonight, he shares his story with us. Keep watching.
The payment process is quite flawless.
It was unbelievable because I didn't know that they have such a scheme existing in Nigeria.
Is it true that I will get the house? No, why not? You met all the requirements, so you'll get it.
The joy of ownership is wonderful.
This 3-bedroom bungalow belongs to Mr. Olugbenga Oni, a civil servant. He got to know of the estate through a friend before he saw an advert on television. Then he went over to the Ekiti State Housing Corporation to make more inquiries.
First of all, went to the Housing Corporation, Ekiti State Housing Corporation. From there, they directed me to Federal Mortgage Bank, where I opened an account with them. Later, I came back to the Housing Corporation. They now said I should pay 10% of the total cost of the facility of the house. So that's how I was allocated this house.
After paying a 10% equity on the property, Mr. Oni moved into his house. He got the house at a total amount of 2.9 million naira. Mr. Oni, who has lived in his house for quite some time, says he does not have to bother about issues of rent.
I was living in a rented apartment, so that time no problem of this landlord. There are times they just hike the rent without any prior notice. Then there are times the landlord will come, I don't want pets in my house, I don't want this, I don't want that. So that was the situation before I got my own apartment here.
He says living as a tenant did not allow him have freedom. Having his own house gives him the liberty to do whatever he desires.
Here now, I am the owner of this place by the special grace of God. I have my pets here because I love animals. And my children, we are all fine here. So we don't have any problem with landlord and no problem with anybody.
Olubenga Oni says the repayment is quite suitable for him as he has about 25 years to finish his repayment.
The payment is very convenient because when I got there, before the allocation, they said they deducted they said I will spend 25 years to repay for the repayment. So it's been so easy. I'm only paying little money from my salary. So I pay for my salary. I'm a civil servant.
There are facilities he enjoys using in the estate. He tells us some of them.
There are so many. Like we have access road, good access road. Then the power here, situation is very okay. Then we have relative peace. There's peace here. We don't have issues. There's no noise. The environment is serene. And even the place is so friendly. So no problem in the estate.
Before he got his house, Mr. Oni wondered how only 10% of the cost of house could get one a home till he tried it out. Now, his call to Nigerians still in doubt like him is to explore opportunities like this.
The experience is wonderful because the fact that you are the owner of your house where you stay is incomparable with when you are a tenant somewhere. Here, I own the place. I don't have to pay to any landlord at the end of the year or at the end of the month. No, there's nobody that will knock my door and say, Mr. Tenant, I'm increasing my house rent next month or next year. That one has been a thing of the past. So the experience is wonderful. It's incomparable.
Our question for the week is, can I get a loan as an individual to build a house, or must I buy from a government-owned or private estate developer?
Yes, all those options are open to NHF contributions. So if it is your choice and you have a piece of land which is for the purpose of housing, residential accommodation, we will provide a facility for you to build your own house. And if an NHF contributor so wishes to buy a house, you have an individual who is interested in selling the house, and you as an NHF contributor, you are interested in buying the house, we provide a mortgage facility for you to buy outright. And the house can be a government property, it could be a private property, it could be an estate, it could be an individual property being sold by an individual, as long as it's within the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria.
Our beneficiaries can only attest to the reality of the scheme. It is in your place to take that bold step for your own home ownership dreams to get fulfilled. Kindly walk into any of our offices near you to find out how you can benefit from the NHF scheme. You can also log on to www.fmbn.gov.ng for more details on how to be a part of the scheme, or simply dial the number showing on your screen. Don't forget, you can send in your questions via text only to the number also showing on your screen. Until next week, when I come your way again, same time on this same station. Do stay safe and have a pleasant night.